Hello and welcome to the third part in our list fragment development. Um, Again, I mentioned before, it's a complex process. I will stop and explain what it means each one of the things in the end. Don't worry, but for now, the idea is that we define the list fragment adapter, which will be in charge of everything regarding the painting and the showing of the data. We defined an array of names of type string, which will be receive this information. We'll receive it from outside, not from here, and it will show this array of names. We'll store it in this variable. Also the context, because we need the context to create the view. Okay, we'll see later. And we already told him that when the system, because this class will be used by the Android system, and we're telling that each time it requests the size of the amount of elements it has to paint, we will return the size of the array, which is what we want. We stopped right here when we wanted to create the view holder element. Okay, now the view holder element, you can see this element is right here. What it is asking us to return, yeah, we can create it by var list element of type list element equals list element. Okay, and he asks us to send a view, okay, as a parameter. This is the constructor to this list element. Okay, now I'm going to do it as a constructor. Oh my, let me try just to cut this and put it here. Problem is that it's not going to allow me to do that. Sorry. Let's do it like that. We have two ways of writing constructors. This way here, or this way here. Okay, it's not very relative, but it's relevant right now. But I want you to understand that this is a constructor, and he is asking us to send a view. The view we are going to send is very similar to the view that we're using here. You see that here, val root of type view equals inflator inflate, so on, and it's associated to a certain XML, which is this one here. You see, this one here. Well, he's asking us exactly the same thing. He wants us to return a view. The view to send him a view. Okay, now the view, the inflator, well, sadly, we don't have an inflator, but the context itself has an inflate function. Well, sorry. The inflate function, it's view holder layout inflator from context. Okay, so we have to do it like this. This is the line, specifically what I want to do. We are going to inflate, well, they call it inflate, to create based on an XML a view. Now we have to import the view, the layout inflator. We need the context, as you can see, that we need before. And here we have to define the XML we want to show. Okay, and we're not going to call it animal list item. We're going to call it name item, and we have to create it here, okay, as an XML file. We have to go to the XML layout XML file, and we will create a clean element called name. How does it call it? List element, name list item, name list item. Okay, now here we're going to, instead of use linear layout, we're going to do card layout. Okay, let's see if it's possible. Okay, now card layouts are specifically made to show, if I'm not mistaken, it's card layout, card view maybe. Oh, sorry. Sorry. In the example, what they're using, they're not using anything, probably. They're not using neither card layout nor, I want to see the XML. It doesn't show here. It's a linear layout. They're using a linear layout. The card layout, we can look at it in Google. Card layout, I think it's Kotlin, Android, Kotlin, card maybe it's, yeah, possibly card view. Yeah, card views, it's not card layout, card views, are made specifically to show with a small shade in the back, card view. With a small shade in the back, the data, okay? Now, card view, as you can see, it's called card view, it's not card layout. Now it shows correctly, okay? If you follow the video, just go to the text section right here, card view, and automatically will show you, start showing when you just choose this one, and it will show you the right thing. And what we have to do here inside the card view, we have to define a section, an element, a text element, where we're going to want to show the name of the name we're interested in showing. Okay, txt tview name, we're gonna call it, okay, with this ID. Once we have this, a place to put the text, we can play with it, we can change the design or whatever. Right now, that's what we have. I go back to the adapter and I call the name list item, okay? And I send it to this element here, okay? Doing this, what it does is allows me to add the on-click options. Now, I can tell you that it's not necessarily, well, it is necessary. Okay, let's do it like that. And we will have it stored in this view option here, okay? What I will do here, the final step here, is to return the list element. It's very important because this way the system knows what is the class you are using as a basis to create the elements in the view, okay, in the recycle view. The final function we have to define is that one here, the bind, okay? We're going to bind the data in the list element it gives us. Now, as I mentioned before, this adapter works hand in hand with the system because each time this function is executed, it will be called to the elements that are being shown in the screen. But those who are not, they're not going to be shown, and this thing here won't call it. And each time it shows, for example, the position 3, 4, and 5, it will execute this function 3 times with different positions. Okay? How it will look like. We will define here a function called bind data, which will receive the position, int, and the holder, okay? The holder list element, I think, right? No, yes, why? Yeah, well. Yeah, that's it. Now only the position, okay? To be honest, we will send it the string itself, the data, which is of type string that we want to bind to the element, okay? What we will do is send the holder bind data, the array with the names, dot get the index of the position, okay? What we're telling him is that for the element you want to show in the position 5, you have to put the name that is in the position 5 of the array we just have here. If we do all this, this will be completed, okay? Well, there is one small thing, sorry. I forgot. What we have to do is to define, we have to call the text view name of type text view equals v of the view, dot find view by id, r.id dot, remember that we call it text view name, that's the one, okay? What we're doing is just like in the list fragment or wherever, we are creating a link to this here, to this, so we can change its text, okay, and put the one that we want, okay? If we go here to the list fragment and we set text data, by doing that, what we're doing is that for each element, view element, it will change the text depending on what we want it to have. Okay. Now the final step is to go back to the list fragment here and link the adapter of type list fragment adapter. We have to initialize it. Okay. Remember, we asked for an array of strings. We can create beforehand an array of strings, array of, and we can add the elements we want by adding this. For example, I can put I don't know, Mike is that, I think, right? Yeah. And I'm putting all kinds of names. So these names here I can put first in the first as the first variable of the request, and the second is the context. The context can be the same as, well, sorry, it cannot be. It has to be the context from get context. Okay. Okay, you have to put the assertion. Now, once the adapter is created and it received the names and the context, remember the names are here and the context is here. The final step will be to link to the recycler view its adapter, which is this one here. Okay. We have to also assert. And once we do this, finally, what we have to see in screen here are the names defined here. Mike, Isaac, Danny, Kelly, and Merlin. Well, they're not showing them, which means that there is a small error. Yes. I will check it now, and I will tell you where is the error. Probably there is a small mistake somewhere. I don't think it's very grave, but I will look at it, and I will come back to you.